Hello, welcome to my channel where we make the practice of quantity surveying uh, easy to our viewers. Thank you for staying tuned. Uh, I also want to appreciate you for finding my channel worthy to subscribe to. Uh, the feedback I have gotten so far is encouraging, and I'll continue to do my best to enlighten us on the practice of quantity surveying. Uh, in this episode, we are going to be discussing on how to calculate the cost per square meter of leveling and compacting of the subgrade in road construction. As we all know that during the road construction, there are layers of events that will get to where you are expected to level, compact for the other steps to follow. In road construction, the first activity is to clear off the topsoil along the road paths. Then you now excavate you now cut by excavating the areas that are high and fill those areas that are low, which of course there are two items in the bill, after which you are now expected to now grade to level to slope. Then you can now compact to the bearing capacity stipulated in the bill for the stone base, the bearing, the wearing cost to now come on top. So this is the step we are now going to be discussing. And for this process, you needed the grader, you needed the excavator, you needed the grader, you needed the compactor, then you needed the water tanker. Because as the grader is grading off the undulation on the road, after, when you excavate, the excavator is not excavating to level. He's just cutting to the formation level, and the cutting will not be perfect. So it's expected that you now perfect it to the slope, to the level that the designer has stipulated in the design. So that is when this exercise now come in. The grader will now the grader will grade till those areas that are a little bit high, because you've cut to the barest minimal. It will now use the stiller and till and now grade. Then the compactor will now come on it and compact. Then the water tanker's activity is to spread light water on the soil so that the consolidation will be perfectly okay. So as we all know, uh, the cost of we are first of all going to treat this exercise as a gang, where the gang of the grader, the compactor, and the water tanker, what it can accomplish a day. So the cost of the grader is a 150,000 per day, while the compactor is a 130,000 per day. Then the water tanker is a 120. Uh, these rates are for the purposes of building up rates. So as you're following me, you're trying to follow what I'm doing. If you want to now cost what it is actually, what if you want to now price it to reflect the prevalent cost in the market, you have to go to the hiring company to know what this price are as at today. So then you have to know the consumption of the fuel for each of this equipment, and you now, it's like for the grader, it consumed 100 liter per day. The compactor, though heavy engine, it consume a 50 liter per day. And some might want to know, why is it consuming a 50 liter per day? You know, the ideal time for a compactor is more during the working process, because it compacts and it goes to rest, awaiting when the grader does its own work, then it will now come. The both are not working at the same time. So the time for uh, the the compactor, the working time for the compactor is usually very low throughout the day. So that is why the consumption is 50 liters. Why the water tanker, depending on the source of where you get the water, that is what will determine the time it goes and the time it comes back, exhaust that water, and now go back to fetch another water for the continuation of the job. So the liters will be calculated, and for this exercise, you can see I have marked the liters, and it came to 230, and that is why you see 230 liters in the quantities column. Then it's the cost is 1,200 per liter. You multiply it, and you now have the 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 amount for fueling. Then this this item can only come to play if you are the owner of your equipment. But if you are renting, and the service, if you're renting, and in the terms of your rental, it stipulates that cost of maintenance servicing is on the owner, the person hiring the equipment to you, then this item has nothing, it will not come into play. But if you are the owner of the equipment, you know this equipment from time to time they go for maintenance. So you have to now include the cost of changing the filter, changing the oil, greasing the joints and elbows of all of this equipment, so that this amount will account for that aspect during the cost of construction. Then this one as well, if the the hiring company has included the cost of operators in their cost, then this will not come into play. But if you are the owner of your equipment, definitely you have to pay those people that are going to operate your 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 equipment. So you have to factor their costs into your rate builder. Then for the labor, if you visited a construction site where roads are constructed, you see there are some workers working alongside the equipment, that wherever there are they needed to remove logs of wood, pieces of debris that would either uh, decay and now form a void, which might eventually lead to the collapse of the road. So they have to remove those necessary impurities from the road during the cost of grading. So you have to provide for them, because they are not going to be there for free. So, and that is why you can see for the gang of one equipment, I provided 2 persons, and their cost is 4,000 per day. Then for the cost of mobilizing and demobilizing this equipment from site to and from site, and it's 300. That is the 300 is to go and to come. And why is it two? Because the water tanker is permitted to drive on the road on its own, while the two other equipment uh, on the on this The two equipment on the list are not expected by law to ride on the road. So they needed to come on low beds to the site. So that is why you can see that it is two, not three of the equipment that's provided for the cost of demobilization. So after summing those costs, you now have a 1,355,000 per day for all of the equipment and the labor involved, then including the demobilization and mobilization. Then even though this cost is included, the mobilization and demobilization included, because after the work you are expected to take the machine out of the site, even though you're going to bring it from in the first instant, then later take it out of the site. So you have to factor the two costs. Then you will now quantify over time the studies and from literatures and from cost data you've gathered, and the outputs you've gathered from uh, your experience. If you're working with a construction company that has been on road project for a very long time, they do keep data, so it could tell you what is the quantum of work that a gang of this equipment can do for a day. Then it is this quantum that you will now divide by the total cost of the equipment to now give you the cost per square meter. For a gang of this equipment, the excavator and the compactor, they usually the total cubic meter volume of earth they can grade, cut, is between a 400 and a 350 cubic meter. If you now divide it by, say, a 150, it will now give you this square meter. Then the square meter, now you now divide it by you divide it by the total square area this equipment can accomplish for the day. It will now give you 562 naira per square meter. This is exclusive of the personnel costs, accommodations, is providing offices, uh, uh, security, safety, and all the items that in are involved. That falls under the indirect cost. So if you want to get more expose on how to build up, how to calculate, price your indirect personnel, both administrative management staff and other staff, how to price your safety, you can visit my channel, my YouTube channel, with a handle on this handle, www.youtube.com/quantity surveying made easy _2014. There you're going to find useful materials that will help you further to understand how to price your indirect, because this aspect we have just dealt with is the direct cost. But the supervisory staffs, the managerial staffs, and other things that makes up the whole price falls within the preliminary item. Please Uh, if this has been useful to you, please share it around. Above all, hit the subscription button. Thank you for watching. See you next in the next episode.